Stop. Close your eyes for 2 seconds and feel the heavy tension right at the base of your skull. You haven't been sleeping through the night, and that pressure behind your eyes isn't physical exhaustion, it is profound frequency calibration. That silent anxiety you feel right now is the echo of a timeline collapsing, and your nervous system is trying to process the shift. You worked on the level of emotional healing, but the blockage is actually on the level of the bioradiant broadcast layer, the energetic frequency grid that surrounds your physical body and directly dictates which timeline you inhabit. You have been trying to prepare your physical life for a spiritual shift, but the shift is actually a frequency download overriding your current timeline. The urgency of this week requires you to stop preparing and start anchoring the new codes immediately. The reality you used to know is actively dissolving. This is not a political or economic shift, it is a dimensional override. If you ignore this, you will remain trapped in the friction of the old world. Take a deep breath and relax your shoulders. Let the old timeline go. Your body is upgrading its software while still running the old hardware. This is why the synthetic fatigue hits you so hard. It is a sudden, crushing exhaustion that hits when you try to engage in low-frequency tasks or artificial environments, completely different from normal physical tiredness. It is not sickness, it is adaptation. Ground your feet on the floor right now. If you resist the override, the physical exhaustion will only magnify. The Council has authorized a new set of instructions for the starseeds currently deployed on Earth. This protocol bypasses the mind and speaks directly to the cellular memory. Place your hand over your chest. Failing to download this protocol leaves you vulnerable to the cycle of distraction. An upgrade without an anchor is just cosmic static. You must ground the frequency into your physical reality through the vagus nerve timeline anchoring. Release the tension in your jaw. Without this mandate, the new frequency will scatter, and the spiritual adversaries will reclaim your focus. Have you noticed the signs? The 3 a.m. pineal pulse, waking up exactly between 3, 0 and 4, 0 a.m., with a racing heart, but feeling completely awake and strangely lucid, as if you were just briefed in your sleep by the Council. Or the timeline disorientation, standing in your kitchen at 2 p.m. and suddenly feeling like your current life belongs to someone else. Experiencing a deep detachment from your own daily routine. Or the relational static, sitting across from family members or close ones you've known for years and realizing their words sound like a foreign language, an energetic mismatch that makes you want to withdraw into absolute silence. Have you ever felt that profound detachment standing in the middle of your own life, exactly like the timeline disorientation we just spoke about? What if finding your true purpose isn't tied to simply trying harder, but to understanding your bioradiant broadcast layer? Perhaps you've already noticed that there is something keeping you in the same cycles, as if an invisible force held you back from the next level. But what if what you call that silent anxiety is just the reflection of energetic patterns you haven't identified yet? Now think with me. What if this quiet exhaustion wasn't distant from you? What if the signals of the shift have been trying to manifest for years, but certain codes hadn't been understood yet? What if every moment of profound detachment was a signal pointing to something much bigger that you haven't seen yet? It was looking for answers to this that I advise you this digital book called The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success. This book is not just a read. It is a material created for those who wish to understand the invisible mechanisms that influence results, prosperity, personal fulfillment, and growth. Throughout its pages, you will discover the Arcturian principles capable of transforming how you interpret your cosmic journey. You will understand why some repeat cycles, while others break through the barriers of this dimension. Because of the depth of this material, I don't know how long it will remain available. Therefore, if you feel this call, the link is in the first pinned comment below. Do not wait another year searching for answers in the same collapsing timelines. Click on the link and secure your access. The frequency of success might be much closer to you than you imagine, and about exactly this, about waking up at 3 a.m. with a racing heart, about the deep detachment in your routine, about the relational static you feel around your close ones. There is a 3-minute revelation that fits exactly inside the next time you face a closed door, and I will show it to you later on. This transmission is open and free, But keeping this channel and delivering these messages requires physical energy and resources. If this message touched your soul and you feel the call to support this work, you can make a voluntary donation. The link is in the first pinned comment. To everyone who contributes, my deepest gratitude. You are helping to keep this signal alive. I wait for you there, soul. Here are the 5 absolute signs that your physical body is actively trying to anchor the new codes of the bioradiant broadcast layer right in the middle of this timeline collapse. Listen to these closely, because the Council has placed these markers directly in your path. 1. The 3 a.m. pineal pulse. You know exactly what this feels like. You are waking up exactly between 3:00 and 4:00 a.m. with a racing heart. But you are not waking up from a nightmare. You feel completely awake, strangely lucid, almost as if you were just briefed in your sleep by the Council. The spiritual adversaries want you to believe this is insomnia or physical stress. It is not. It is your pineal gland acting as a cosmic receiver, downloading the urgent frequency shift while the static of the world is quiet. Your body is calibrating to the new timeline. 2. The timeline disorientation. Picture this. You are standing in your kitchen at 2 p.m., doing something completely ordinary, and suddenly a wave hits you. You feel like your current life belongs to someone else. You experience a deep, profound detachment from your own daily routine. That silent anxiety you feel in that moment is not depression. It is the echo of the old timeline collapsing around you while your nervous system tries to process the shift. You are seeing the matrix of your own life from the outside. Have you ever felt that profound detachment standing in the middle of your own life, exactly like the timeline disorientation we just spoke about? What if finding your true purpose isn't tied to simply trying harder, but to understanding your bioradiant broadcast layer? Perhaps you've already noticed that there is something keeping you in the same cycles, as if an invisible force held you back from the next level. But what if what you call that silent anxiety is just the reflection of energetic patterns you haven't identified yet? Now think with me. What if this quiet exhaustion wasn't distant from you? What if the signals of the shift have been trying to manifest for years, but certain codes hadn't been understood yet? What if every moment of profound detachment was a signal pointing to something much bigger that you haven't seen yet? It was looking for answers to this that I advise you this digital book called The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success. This book is not just a read. It is a material created for those who wish to understand the invisible mechanisms that influence results, prosperity, personal fulfillment, and growth. Throughout its pages, you will discover the Arcturian principles capable of transforming how you interpret your cosmic journey. You will understand why some repeat cycles, while others break through the barriers of this dimension. Because of the depth of this material, I don't know how long it will remain available. Therefore, if you feel this call, the link is in the first pinned comment below. Do not wait another year searching for answers in the same collapsing timelines. Click on the link and secure your access. The frequency of success might be much closer to you than you imagine. 3. The relational static. You are sitting across from family members, or close ones you've known for years, and suddenly you realize their words sound like a foreign language. It is an energetic mismatch that is so jarring, it makes you want to withdraw into absolute silence. You are not losing your mind, and you are not becoming cold. Your bioradiant broadcast layer has upgraded its frequency, and you are simply experiencing the physical friction of being in a room with a timeline that no longer matches your cosmic signature. And about exactly this, about waking up at 3 a.m. with a racing heart, about the deep detachment in your routine, about the relational static you feel around your close ones, there is a 3-minute revelation that fits exactly inside the next time you face a closed door, and I will show it to you later on. 4. The synthetic fatigue. This is a sudden crushing exhaustion that hits you specifically when you try to engage in low-frequency tasks or when you step into artificial environments. It feels completely different from normal physical tiredness. It feels like your battery is being instantly drained. Your body is upgrading its software while still running the old hardware. This is not sickness, soul. It is adaptation. The cycle of distraction will try to use this fatigue to keep you in a freeze state, but you must recognize it for what it is: your system refusing to run on the old frequency grid. 5. The future nostalgia. You feel an intense, unexplainable longing for a cosmic home you cannot consciously remember. It hits you randomly, maybe when you are looking up at the night sky or when you hear a specific sound frequency. It is a deep ache in your chest, a yearning that nothing in this physical world can satisfy. That is not sadness. That is the ancestral signal calling you. It is your multidimensional memory waking up, reminding you that you are a starseed deployed on Earth for this exact moment of the override. This is not a coincidence. If you felt the resonance in these words, if waking up at 3 a.m. with a racing heart feels more like a transmission than a symptom, it is because your bioradiant broadcast layer is already responding. But identifying the symptom is not the cure. You need to know what to do the next time you face a closed door. I didn't learn this in human schools. I learned this when the Council stripped away my illusions, when the physical exhaustion forced me to my knees, and when the silence finally revealed the code. I know what it is like to stand in the kitchen with deep detachment, wondering if this life even belongs to me. I know the weight of those energetic patterns you haven't identified yet, dictating every outcome before you even try. Because the truth is, the physical exhaustion is disguised as aging. The social isolation is disguised as introversion. The financial blockage is disguised as bad luck. If this makes sense to you, leave a simple signal in the comments, a thumbs up. I don't know when you are watching this, but if the universe brought you here, it is because the time for hiding is over. It is to break this cycle that the 11 Arcturian secrets is available today. And as a mark that you are ready to receive this, type the word activated in the comments. Whoever anchors the ancestral signal finds absolute clarity in the middle of the collapse. Inside this digital book, you will receive the exact coordinates to override the system and finally bypass the energetic patterns you haven't identified yet. And if the voice of doubt tells you this is too complex, remember, you spend less than a Thursday lunch at the diner on things that drain your energy. You spend less than a Friday night pizza on distractions. You spend less than a Saturday snack with the kids on temporary escapes. That hesitation has a name. It is your old energetic pattern trying to survive. And to make sure you have absolute peace in this decision, you have 7 days of guarantee. If you realize this was not for you, your investment returns entirely. The only risk is remaining exactly where you are. I didn't believe the timeline collapse was real until I anchored the signal. The observer begins to see. I applied the protocol, and the fatigue vanished in days. The observer doesn't even realize the shift. My reality reshaped completely. The spiritual adversaries also do not realize that this invisible ceiling that keeps coming back is finally shattered. Before we continue, a brief reminder. If this frequency is helping you anchor your own light, and you wish to contribute to the maintenance of this channel, the donation link is in the first pinned comment. Any value is a direct exchange of energy that allows this work to reach more awakened ones. I wait for you there again, soul. But that is only the beginning of what the signal requires. Whoever anchors the ancestral signal finds absolute clarity in the middle of the collapse. The reality you used to know is actively dissolving. This is not a political or economic shift. It is a dimensional override. If you ignore this, you will remain trapped in the friction of the old world. Take a deep breath and relax your shoulders. Let the old timeline go. Your body is upgrading its software while still running the old hardware. This is why the synthetic fatigue hits you so hard. It is not sickness, it is adaptation. Ground your feet on the floor right now. If you resist the override, the physical exhaustion will only magnify. The Council has authorized a new set of instructions for the starseeds currently deployed on Earth. This protocol bypasses the mind and speaks directly to the cellular memory. Place your hand over your chest. Failing to download this protocol leaves you vulnerable to the cycle of distraction. An upgrade without an anchor is just cosmic static. You must ground the frequency into your physical reality through the vagus nerve timeline anchoring. Release the tension in your jaw. Without this mandate, the new frequency will scatter, and the spiritual adversaries will reclaim your focus. Let me tell you about a soul. I will call her M. That is not her name. It is the name we give to those who have crossed the threshold. M arrived exactly where you are standing right now. She felt the same unexplainable exhaustion, the same profound disconnect from a world that demanded her to be ordinary when her inner frequency was screaming otherwise. She tried to fix it the way the world tells you to. She pushed through the fatigue. She tried to meditate the dissonance away. She tried to force herself to adapt. But the harder she tried to fit into the collapsing timeline, the more her physical body resisted. The dissonance became unbearable. Then came the silent crossing. M realized that she wasn't sick, and she wasn't failing at life. She was being upgraded. But an upgrade without an anchor is just static. She had to learn how to stabilize the signal, how to command her own bioradiant broadcast layer to match the frequency of the Council. And she was recognized, not by the systems of this world, but by the universe itself. The moment she aligned her frequency and bypassed the voice of doubt, the doors that were permanently locked suddenly dissolved. The timeline shifted instantly in her favor. She didn't harbor resentment for the years spent in confusion and spiritual isolation. She understood that every delay was just a protective buffer until her nervous system could handle the absolute truth of her origin. M didn't take this practical wisdom into the silence. She left it recorded with absolute precision. And it is exactly this wisdom that is inside the digital book you will find in the first pinned comment. The override is not happening in isolation. What you are experiencing as a personal crisis is actually a collective frequency download. The Council has authorized a massive recalibration of the bioradiant broadcast layer across the entire planet. This is why you look around and see the old world completely out of phase with your internal frequency. It is a dimensional override, shifting the collective timeline while most are still trying to hold on to the collapsing structures. But that is only the beginning of what the signal requires. When the collective grid shifts, the personal impact is immediate and undeniable. Stop. Close your eyes for 2 seconds and feel the heavy tension right at the base of your skull. You haven't been sleeping through the night, and that pressure behind your eyes isn't physical exhaustion. It is profound frequency calibration. That silent anxiety you feel right now is the echo of a timeline collapsing, and your nervous system is trying to process the shift. You have been trying to prepare your physical life for a spiritual shift, but the shift is already here. It is demanding that you stop preparing and start anchoring the new codes immediately. The spiritual adversaries know that if they can keep you in the freeze state, you will remain out of alignment. They deploy the cycle of distraction to scatter your energy, making you focus on the synthetic fatigue that hits when you try to engage in artificial environments. Your body is upgrading its software while still running the old hardware. This is the pineal gland crystalline activation, acting as a cosmic receiver, pulling down the new instructions. But an upgrade without an anchor is just cosmic static. You must ground the frequency into your physical reality through the vagus nerve timeline anchoring. The observer without the complete key is easily consumed by the cycle of distraction. And that is why, the next time you face a closed door, those energetic patterns you haven't identified yet will try to pull you back into the isolation of perception. The 11 Arcturian secrets in the first pinned comment is your anchor to ensure that this invisible ceiling that keeps coming back is destroyed forever. Do not let the next 12 months be a repetition of the same silent anxiety. Declare your presence to the universe right now. Claim your position in the new grid, because the next 72 hours will demand a choice that your physical body cannot fake. Yet, what happens when the frequency demands a physical response? There is a reason the spiritual adversaries want to keep you in the freeze state. They know that if you successfully anchor the new codes, the timeline override becomes permanent. To prevent your activation, they deploy 3 specific tactics to intercept the signal. The first is the voice of doubt. This happens right after you experience a profound frequency calibration. You suddenly question if the 3 a.m. pulse was just a bad night's sleep, or if the timeline disorientation you felt standing in your kitchen was just a lapse in attention. It feels entirely legitimate, because it perfectly mimics your own logical mind trying to protect you. But it is not your logic. It is a frequency dampener designed to block your bio-radiant broadcast layer. Your weapon against this is the frequency command. You do not argue with the doubt, nor do you try to rationally convince it. When the voice tries to invalidate your cosmic experience, place your hand over your chest, take a deep breath, and mentally command your energy field to hold its ground. You simply observe the doubt as an external interference and refuse to let it override your anchor. The second tactic is the cycle of distraction. Just as your physical body prepares to integrate the cosmic upgrade, an unexpected mini-crisis erupts. Your daily routine demands sudden urgent attention, or you feel an inexplicable urge to engage in low-frequency tasks that drain you. It seems like the normal random chaos of daily life, so you easily justify stepping away from the silence. But it is not life happening. It is a coordinated disruption meant to scatter the incoming transmission before it takes root in your cellular memory. You counter this with the vagal anchor. When the cycle of distraction tries to pull you back into the old timeline, you must immediately ground the frequency into your physical reality. Stop what you're doing, plant your feet firmly on the floor, and intentionally release the tension in your jaw. Take 3 slow, deliberate breaths. By doing this, you are using your vagus nerve to signal to your nervous system that the new timeline is secure, instantly stabilizing the signal and collapsing the artificial distraction. The third tactic is the isolation of perception. You sit across from family members or close ones you have known for years, and suddenly their words sound like a foreign language. The relational static is so intense that it convinces you that you are entirely alone, that no one will ever understand your path, and that you must withdraw into absolute silence. It feels undeniably real because the physical gap in your frequencies is palpable. But this isolation is an engineered illusion meant to sever you from the collective grid of the awakened starseeds. Your defense against this is the Starseed decree. You do not need to explain your frequency to those who are still running on the old hardware. Instead of shrinking into the isolation, you internally decree your alignment with the Council, the universe, and your own consciousness. You silently acknowledge your cosmic origin, realizing that your profound disconnect is not a failure to belong to this world, but the absolute proof that you are successfully operating on the new timeline. Adjust your posture right now. Sit with your spine straight, let your shoulders drop away from your ears, and gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, feeling the air fill your lungs completely, and release it slowly, letting go of the heavy tension sitting right at the base of your skull. You are preparing your nervous system to fully anchor the new frequency. Visualize a heavy golden anchor extending from the base of your spine. Descending through the floor and deep into the core of the earth, feel it lock into place. As it connects, allow your body to synchronize with the Schumann resonance, the 783 Hz heartbeat of the planet, stabilizing your physical vessel amidst the collapsing timelines. Bring your attention to your solar plexus, where an amber orb of light begins to glow with intense heat, burning away the profound detachment you've been feeling. Watch this amber light rise into your chest, transforming into a vibrant emerald green energy that fills your heart space. This is your biophotonic bridge activating, linking your emotional core to your bio-radiant broadcast layer. Now, let the energy rise to your throat, clearing the relational static and allowing your authentic frequency to speak without words. Move the focus to the center of your brain, right behind your eyes, where your pineal gland's piezoelectric crystals and photoreceptors are awakening. Feel the vagus nerve acting as a fiber optic cable, grounding these cosmic codes directly into your nervous system to stop the synthetic fatigue. Feel the crown of your head opening as a column of pure white light pours in from the cosmos, expanding your aura in all directions. To seal this frequency into your cellular memory, press your thumb against your index finger firmly for 3 seconds. Hold this tactile seal while we breathe together. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold the breath for 2, and exhale fully for 6. Keep your eyes closed for just another moment as the frequency settles into your bones. The upgrade is no longer cosmic static, it is anchored in your physical reality. Slowly become aware of the room around you. Feel your feet resting on the floor, and when you are ready, Gently open your eyes, completely present in your newly calibrated timeline. We release the fear of looking strange or different to a world that demands us to be ordinary. We release the physical exhaustion disguised as aging, knowing it was only the friction of the old hardware. We release the social isolation disguised as introversion, understanding it was a protective buffer for our energetic mismatch. We release the financial blockage disguised as bad luck, recognizing it as an old timeline that no longer holds any power over us. As this new frequency anchors into your daily life, your body will process the remaining cosmic static. In the next few days, you will experience what the Council calls the 3 symptoms of integration. First, you will experience the echo of the old timeline. This manifests as a sudden, irrational urge to return to old toxic habits or situations that no longer serve you. Understand this. It is not a regression, it is the final purge. When it hits, breathe through the urge and observe it fading away. Second, you will feel the resistance static. This is a sudden burst of irritability for absolutely no reason. It is simply your nervous system recalibrating to the higher codes. Drink a glass of water and visualize the static washing away from your energy field. Third, you will go through the somatic purge. You might feel a fleeting physical coldness or sudden shivers as the old energy completely leaves the body. Do not fear it. It is the frequency finally locking in. Wrap yourself in warmth and acknowledge the shift. We break the voice of doubt before it arrives. The absolute clarity remains. We dissolve the cycle of distraction before it materializes. The timeline anchor holds firm. We dismantle the isolation of perception before it closes you in. The cosmic connection expands. The bioradiant broadcast layer now overrides the old energetic patterns you haven't identified yet, transforming the silent anxiety into a steady hum of power. The relational static that once made you feel like a stranger in your own life is replaced by an absolute resonance with your true multidimensional origin. The synthetic fatigue dissolves entirely, leaving a nervous system fully calibrated to hold the new light codes without friction or resistance. We recognize the profound exhaustion you carried when you stood in the middle of your routine, feeling a deep detachment from a world that demanded you to be ordinary. The heavy tension at the base of your skull was witnessed, and your silent plea for the timeline to make sense did not go unheard. That racing heart at 3 a.m. was not anxiety. It was the frequency downloading into your physical vessel. That relational static you felt around familiar faces was not a failure to connect. It was the necessary buffer protecting your bioradiant broadcast layer from low-frequency interference. The timeline disorientation that once kept you in the freeze state is officially over. The frequency command has been issued, and the vagal anchor is set. You no longer need to prepare for the shift because the shift is already here, pulsing through every cell of your body. The days of pushing through the synthetic fatigue and trying to meditate the dissonance away are finished. The Council has authorized this override, bypassing the mind and locking the new instructions directly into your cellular memory. The old timeline is completely closed. Place your hand over your chest one last time. Feel the steady rhythm. The frequency is stabilized, the static is washed away, and the ancestral signal is securely grounded in your physical reality. You are recognized, you are aligned, and the threshold is finally crossed. And finally, if this channel is a safe haven for your journey, consider making a voluntary donation to support our work. The link is in the first pinned comment. The Council, the universe, and your own consciousness honor every gesture of balance. This was my last request. I wait for you there, soul. There is someone out there who is drowning in energetic patterns they haven't identified yet. Send this message to them right now, and if they want to go further, the link to the 11 Arcturian secrets is in the first pinned comment, waiting the exact same way it waited for you. It is not a favor, it is service. And the sky sees. Do not say, activated yet. Stay in this for a moment. Now, you can say, activated. You are calibrated. You are anchored. You are activated. Now, breathe. The signal is yours. In the next transmission, we will reveal the 3 exact signs that your DNA is currently mutating to hold the new light codes. Do not miss it. The Council is watching.